What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome to Model Airplane Review. It's your host, Ray. In today's video, I'll be reviewing the Gemini Jets Delta Airlines Boeing 767-300ER. In this video, I'll talk about the box, then the model itself, and at the end of the video, I'll give my personal opinion about what I think of the model and whether or not I recommend it to other collectors. That being said, here we go. Starting off with the box is a standard issue Gemini Jets box at 15 centimeters lengthwise and height-wise, and 4 centimeters wide. I'll show you on the box now, so here's the front, bottom, right side. If my camera would focus, that'd be great. There we go. Top, left side, and the back side. Take a moment to read this if you'd like to. It appears as though this model was manufactured in 2022 based on the copyright on the bottom left, but this is a 2023 release. This box allows the model to be viewed inside the box. Here you can see it, and under the flap is a bit of information about this aircraft and the Boeing 767. Take a moment to read this if you'd like to. Once you open up the box, you get the model itself fully painted, assembled, and ready to go. I'll give you a quick 360 of the model now. So the fuselage length is 14 centimeters, wingspan is 12.5 centimeters, and it's about 4 centimeters tall. I think it's 4 centimeters, it might be 5. Accurate to 1/400 scale, and decently heavy due to the fact that it's made primarily out of die-cast metal. Here, let's run the numbers really quick. I straight up forgot the measurement. No, it's 4 centimeters tall. Sorry about that. Starting up the review with the fuselage, nose shape looks pretty good. Gemini's 767 mold and JC wings as well has been pretty good with the nose shape historically, so this model appears to be no exception to that. It seems pretty solid. As we move down the fuselage, you can see a decent selection of printed and painted detail, all of which looks pretty good. Got the SkyTeam logo there. Delta title seems to be okay. As we move down the fuselage, you can see all the windows. I don't see any stains or anything out of the ordinary, so pretty good so far. Here's the vertical stabilizer, and here we've got our first issues, it appears. So vertical stabilizer looks pretty good in terms of color and detail. Whoa, okay, never mind. What is that? All right, so it appears as though we've got a bit of an inconsistency with the paint application. We got a dark spot right here, and also in the metallic paint up here, I see some blue poking through there, so yeah, quality control definitely failed on this one, I suppose. Something weird happened there. So the issue with the dark spot is not present on the right side, but there is more paint chipping here on the metallic pattern, or not pattern, but on the metallic part. And here's the right side of the fuselage. Everything that's been said about the left side can also be applied to the right side, so I won't provide much commentary here. Moving up to the wings, here we've got a decent set of detail. Looks pretty solid. Just kidding, nope. All right, so printed detail appears to run over the air brakes here, so that's definitely not supposed to happen. Not sure if that was an alignment issue or just something went south with the printing application there, so that's kind of messed up. But everything else looks good. We've got the metallic paint on the leading edge slats, and the control surfaces are clearly outlined. There's no paint filling issues, so that's good. As for the winglets on this model are decent. They're kind of rounded for the 767, but they're the right shape at least, so I won't complain about that. The little dot you see there on the top center is a light, so that is an accurate detail. The winglet on the right side definitely looks a little bit odd as well. It appears as though it might be a little too long, or it might have extended out a bit far. Okay, no, I take that back. It's just the shape kind of struck me as odd. Yeah, that printing detail issue is on the right side as well, so I think that's more an issue with quality control on the part of the entire batch instead of this specific model, so that's kind of messed up. Bottom of the wing, there's no printed detail down here, but there's a decent amount of control surface detail, so not all too bad. All right, here's the rear section of the plane. Here we can see the horizontal stabilizers. These are actually pretty nicely detailed. There's some printed and painted detail on there, all of which looks pretty good. APU looks good. There appears to be a little bit of an indentation for the exhaust. Actually, a very small hole. That's very nice to see. And at the back, we just have our APU access doors, that little lump with the square on it. I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, looking pretty good in terms of detail. Moving on to the engines themselves have no printed detail except for the exhaust nozzles. The exhaust nozzles look pretty good, but the engines themselves have no printed detail on them. And originally, I thought this was an error, but this is actually an accurate detail. Well, not an accurate detail, but yeah, an accuracy to the real aircraft, because this aircraft with the specific tail registration, there it is by the way if you want to check that out, this specific aircraft does not have any placards or warnings or any printed detail on the engines, or any detail that would be printed on the engines, so that's quite interesting to see. Something else I'm also seeing here is the seam line between the fuselage and the wing part is pretty well defined. You can see the very well defined gap there. It's not as bad in the back as it is in the front, but yeah, it is pretty well defined. Forgot to comment on the fan blades, but yeah, fan blades look decent. They're painted in metallic gray, looks solid. Moving on to aerial details, this model features antennas and sat domes. We got our sat dome at the top of the plane here. This looks accurate, I think. Don't see any issues with it. We have two large antennas at the top, one here and here. These look pretty good. The rest are just printed on markings. And on the bottom of the aircraft, we've got actually nothing. I thought there would be something down here, but nope, no antennas. Moving on to the landing gear. Landing gear on this model look pretty solid. The wheels roll. They're made out of rubber and they roll, so that's nice. They roll smoothly too, so that's also a good thing. They're nicely detailed as well, no complaints there. Nose wheel also rolls, so that's definitely a surprise. Usually on Gemini models these days, the wheels, some of them are stiff or they don't roll. So seeing all of them rolling is kind of a very nice touch. It's not required, but it is a nice touch. Yeah, nose gear also looks pretty solid as well. Here's a look at the front of the airplane. Here we can see wing flex, engine clearance, gear balance, all that fun stuff. Gear balance appears to be symmetrical. Wing flex is good as per usual with this mold. Cockpit window printing may be ever so slightly slanted to the right side of the aircraft or the left side of your screen. Antennas appear to be also a little bit slanted towards the left side of the aircraft or the right side of your screen. Gears seem to be balanced. Engine clearance is good. So yeah, decent mix of things here and there, but overall I think it looks decent. And with that comes the end of my review, and oh my god, this is definitely a shorter one. Okay, so I'll try not to drag this out any longer. Now it's time for my personal opinion and recommendation. So this model is decent. It's not the best, not the worst. Definitely does have its quality control issues as per usual with Gemini these days. The window printing being a little bit slanted, and that seam line also is kind of something that gets people a lot these days. But aside from that, it's a decent model. So therefore, I do recommend it to other collectors. Usually Gemini doesn't really fail all that much with the 767. It's other aircraft they're usually worse off with, but historically the 767 has been a decent aircraft for Gemini. So I do recommend this one. You can order it online with a decent level of confidence, but as per usual, ordering online with Gemini is always a risk. Well, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more model airplane content. And yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I had a complete and total brain fart there. Yeah, okay, like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves. Happy collecting. See you later.